Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. It's actually the morning for me. It's the 11th of November 2025. Apologies to those of you who are waiting with bated breath by your devices to watch a video of mine at 8 p.m. last night. YouTube's on manoeuvres again, doing shenanigans, and there was, I don't know what went wrong, but it had the video scheduled for December, then it had it scheduled for today. It wouldn't allow me to set it as a premiere, which means you'd be able to go on the live chat. It was an absolute mare. So for those of you who haven't seen it, it will be premiered so that there is a live chat at 6 p.m. and you'll be looking at this one around 8 p.m. It's currently about 11:30 in the morning. So hopefully that's enough time for me to iron out whatever needs ironing out between now and 8 o'clock when this video goes out. Thank you to Christine, who has sent me the most beautiful handmade get well card. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Christine. I really do appreciate it. And to everybody else who have sent me well wishes, it makes a big difference, you know, when you feel like death warmed up, that there are people thinking about you. And it's even more heartfelt in a lot of ways when there are people I wouldn't even be able to put a name to the faces. So thank you. And an extra special thank you to one of my bouncers, Red Cloud, for alerting me to the difficulties last night and communicating with me to let me know whether it was up or not at the video last night. So thanks, Red Cloud. Really appreciate your support. Right. If you want to please just take a moment just to check that you're still subscribed. I believe YouTube's gone in and unsubscribed quite a few people. I think that might be because I've been inactive for a few weeks. And I think this seems to be the order of the day. So if you can check that you're still subscribed, and for those of you who maybe didn't receive any notification because one should have come up, just check that your notification bells been checked again in case they've taken that off as well. They're on manoeuvres. YouTube's on manoeuvres. They do it every so often. They change the algorithm. People lose subscribers, and then eventually subscribers catch up, and then they go and do it again. And it's like they cull your subscribers for you, which is a bit annoying. However, it is what it is. And for those of you who have not been to this channel before, please consider subscribing to the channel, because your engagement earns money, and not money for me, I might add. The money accrued from this channel goes to a very worthy cause, a very small charity called Help the number 4 homeless veterans in Yorkshire. It's just one man and a few volunteers, a veteran in his 70s called Steve, who's raising money to build a house or buy a house that will be for veterans that find themselves homeless and on hard times. It's not just the house, it's all the wraparound support that goes with that, to give these veterans support so that when they are ready to move into their own properties, they feel confident and equipped to do that. And for me, it's quite poignant today. It's the 11th of November. Over 100 years since Armistice Day was first signed. And I was actually in Aldi earlier today, well, half an hour ago, and they actually made everybody shut up for 2 minutes silence. I think we need to bring that one back. And just as they sort of sounded a buzzer, and as the buzzer for the end of the silence finished, one staff member stood up, because they were just leaning on a counter, and said, they shall not grow old as we ourselves grow old. What is it now? Age will not weary them nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. And I was in floods, so that was really nice to think that people still hold our armed forces, our veterans, and the people who are still serving in high regard. So, just a little story before I start, because this reading is, to be honest with you, one I don't really want to do this reading. This person that I'm doing this reading on really annoys the hell out of me. It's all about Calamity, Lammy, the Deputy Prime Minister, no less, of the United Kingdom. The man who, if he had another brain cell, it would be severely lonely. This man is as thick as pig shit, as my nan used to say. But in that position of power, he's dangerous. The man's dangerous. So I'm going to tell you what cards I'm dealing with today. I'm dealing with the Green Witch's Oracle by Aaron Murphy Hiscock, and the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Weltstein again. I have the Wisdom of the Oracle cards at the red 8 in case I feel there needs to be another one, and an update on the predictions deck. I did find it. I found it about 10 minutes before switching this camera on, so they haven't been gone through all the ritual that I go through, but I'd actually put them in an empty box of a card box of cards that I no longer have. So I've gone through every single box of cards I've got and found them there lurking in a card box of cards that I no longer have. So there you go. Why I've got the box and not the cards, I don't know. It might be the same old scenario, really. Might be Spirit got rid of them, moved them away, and I've never found them again. So let's have an oracle card first. So David Lammy. Why do I want to know about David Lammy? Well, he's in charge of the 1 in, 1 out on the border. He's in charge of the justice system, because he's the justice. Oh, he's not in charge of the border, is he? He's the justice secretary and the deputy leader of the Labour Party. But he does have some dealings with that. But mainly, David Lammy is responsible for the justice system, prisons, and in the light of the latest hoo-ha over people being released by mistake. The attempted rapist from Ethiopia was released. There was a fraudster was released. There was a rapist released. There have been a lot of people released on since David Lammy became the Justice Secretary. And while Shabana Mahmood was the Justice Secretary, she's now the Home Secretary. Of course, they're doing the usual, it's everybody else's fault but his. He stood up in Prime Minister's question time last week because Keir Starmer had decided to hide and go off to wherever it is for COP30. And he stood up without a poppy on. He had to go and nick a poppy off a veteran MP. He stood up bragging that he'd bought a new suit. Didn't even think about buying a poppy. But there you go. That tells you a lot about his mentality and what he thinks about our brave men and women. We've got two. I'm going to put them back. So apparently David Lammy is going to be in the Commons today answering questions about how so many people have been released from prison in error since he became the Justice Secretary. But what I want to know about David Lammy is he going to be for the high jump anytime soon? Now, my gut feeling is no, because who else would Starmer have? Because most of the Labour parliamentary party can't stand Starmer. It feels like this. Well, I've heard that there's a coup within the Labour Party to try and get Starmer out. My worry is, who would they replace him with? And is it going to be Lammy? Let's have a look. We've got Snow. Snow. Let's have a look at that then. Rest and contemplative. Oh, I can't see. Think about Snow. Oh my God. Snow is on page 111. I've had it in my head since the day before yesterday to do a video on 11, 11, 111 and all the ones, because I've been seeing 111, 11, 11, 111, 11111 on number plates, on the washing machine, on clocks, on my phone, on pages of things. It's been phenomenal. And it's number page 111. So, and this is all about new beginnings, manifesting. This is when manifesting is at its finest. When you see, if you see 111 or 1111, remember what you were thinking about when you clocked, you saw 1111, because that will be significant. I might do a video on it. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video on the angel number to do with the wands. Right, so we've got the card meaning for this is Snow plays a variety of roles in the winter season. I can't see this writing. Why all of a sudden can I see this? In a garden, snow adds nutrients, elements, and moisture to the soil. It also acts as an insulator, keeping the ground and plants protected from major temperate fluctuations. I'm struggling to read this, so please bear with me. The peace of a snowfall invites you to release the stress you've been carrying. But snow isn't always peaceful. Snowstorms force you to sit still, shutting down activity and travel. Without your typical choices, storms force you to confront what you might have been avoiding. The snow card asks you to reflect on the past. Time gives you a clearer head with which to review these events. Snow can help you work through your emotions and see the past in a more balanced fashion. Trust what may seem like slowdown, because it could be exactly what you need to stay safe. Makes me wonder whether David Lammy is going to go into voluntary hibernation. Let me pop that there a minute. I'll keep my eye on that while I just shuffle Tarot of Mystical Moments. Right, so David Lammy. Is he looking like becoming the next leader of the Labour Party? Or is he going to be through the door pretty soon? I'm wondering whether he's going to be out the door fast enough so the door won't hit him on the arse on his way out. But it makes me wonder who they would have in his place, because they are now running out of options. They really are. There's a lot of Labour MPs, but many of them are new and young and student politicsy type people. They're not seasoned MPs, they're not MPs. The Labour Party don't have much experience in government anyway. The ones that do have experience in government are now getting old. So David Lammy. Is his head going to roll for this issue in the justice system? See, it's not just that; it's his attitude about it. He's putting up his defences. Got the 9 of Wands. His attitude towards the opposite bench stinks. Actually, I mean, he was sort of taking the mickey out of people, laughing and just being so arrogant. And it's that same line that they're all spouting. 14 years of Tory incompetence and all that. I'm wondering whether that line is now so old that it's just not going to work anymore. It feels like that's where we are. But I don't know what's happened in the comments today, if it's happened already or whether it's about to happen, whether it's this afternoon, I don't know. But David Lammy has more than definitely got his defences up. So it does feel like although this snow card is telling me he's going to fade off into the background, retreat off somewhere, not be quite so public. I'm wondering if he's going to be taken out of the public eye because he is a source of ridicule now. I mean, he always was, but he's just, he's incapable. It's actually quite, I actually feel quite squeamish when I watch him because you can see that there's not a lot going on between the ears. But he's got his defences up. So it looks to me like he's building a wall of defence. And I can hear it now. 14 years of Tory rule, incompetence, the black hole, lack of putting money into services. And yes, the Tories are guilty of that. They are. But at some point, Labour are going to have to start taking a bit of ownership for the shit show that they have become since taking the reins. It could have been a lot better than that, but they've made such a mess of it. And then the middle card is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So there's going to be no further opportunities for David Lammy. Because the Ace of Pentacles is about new opportunities, new ways of making money, new areas of study, all that kind of thing. But it's all like new ways, material ways of gain. It's in reverse. So he's putting up his defences, but I think Deputy Prime Minister is going to be quite short-lived for him, and I think after that he won't be offered any more opportunity in prominence in government. I would go as far as to say he will lose his seat in the next election, whether that's a local election or general election. And I'm saying that because of this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. But we've got this Three of Pentacles here, and that's about collaboration, working together. And I think he's going to be working very closely with like-minded partners. I'm wondering if he's going to fade off into the background, realise his shit is pot full as Deputy Prime Minister. I know it's not going to happen now, but I think this is what's coming up for David Lammy. It might not be in the next 6 months, but this is definitely coming up for David Lammy. And I'm seeing him either joining forces with that Sultana, what's her name? The Your Party with Jeremy Corbyn and all the Islamists and Zara Sultana. I think he might start and make some inroads with them. But then all of a sudden I'm hearing the Green Party. So I'm wondering if he's going to align himself with the Green Party, or maybe the Green Party and the Your Party are going to amalgamate at some point, like form some sort of coalition to stop reform. because Labour aren't getting in again, and the Conservatives are definitely not getting in again. So it's either going to be reform or there's going to be this massive effort to build coalitions. And I think David Lammy is going to be a part of that. That's what I'm feeling really, really strongly. So you've got the green birds and you've got the red in the brick. I think red and green are going to unite in order to get themselves back over the line in the next general election. In the meantime, there are local elections, but lots of those have been cancelled, which, there you go, another way to subvert democracy, isn't it? But that's where we are. So let's have a look at 2 cards for the next row, please. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, he's lacking. The 5 of Pentacles is about lack. It's about poverty. It's about scarcity. And then we've got the Knight of Cups. Right, okay. So, spanning the 9 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the 5 of Pentacles. This card always reminds me of the cartoon, The Beauty and the Beast. You know, when he's got the rose inside the cloche, and every petal that falls down is another, second towards him no longer surviving. He's got to find someone to fall in love with him. This rose is dead. The 5 of Pentacles is about needing arms, reaching out for arms and finding yourself wanting. The 9 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles are looking in the same direction. They're looking down at the woman on the Ace of Pentacles. So there's also it feels like, yeah, it's a want for another opportunity, but it's not going to come. The only way David Lammy can get back in the swing is if he aligns himself with others, because he won't be able to do it on his own merit. That's what I'm seeing with that. Yeah, scarce, lack. David Lammy lacks the brain. He lacks the integrity. He just doesn't really understand that he doesn't, and it's like he doesn't understand that he doesn't know what he's talking about. There's an arrogance about him. But it's so bold. He's so bold with that arrogance. And here we've got this Knight of Cups between the Ace of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles. There's this. Now, I don't know whether there's some sort of romance going on between him and someone in the green or the Your Party, or whether there's some past romance going on. But some proposal of some description may not be a romantic proposal. It might be a proposal to join another party or help another party. Will come forward. But at this point, I'm not clear whether David Lammy's going to put forward a proposal to jump ship, or whether the ship is going to call for David Lammy. There is a hole in this heart, by the way. If you look, there is a hole in this heart. This heart is being played. I'm hearing, it's not a fiddle, but I'm hearing played like a fiddle. Who's being played like a fiddle? Somebody's being played like a fiddle. Now, I don't know whether it's David Lammy or David Lammy's playing another party, a younger party, a less experienced party, in order to get back into prominence. I don't know. I think that's a time will tell situation, unless this next card is going to give us a clearer picture. But it feels definitely like he's got his defences up. There's going to be no more opportunities coming for David Lammy that he can get by himself. He is lacking in all areas, and his only way back in is to collaborate and to work with. And I'm seeing the Green Party, and I'm seeing the red of the the communist red of the Your Party here. But this feels to me, the Knight of Cups is usually some sort of proposal, but this feels like it's a proposal that needs to be taken with caution, huge caution. I'm feeling like there's a danger in this. And I don't know whether it's a danger for David Lammy or a danger for the coalition, or if it's a danger for the people who don't want Labour and other left-wing parties to cooperate. We've got the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is someone who reacts really, really quickly. And the Knight of Wands, I always read as a player, as a bit of a player now, playing like a fiddle, a player jumping through hoops. I think I'm going to need another card. Can I have a clarifier for that one, please? Is this David Lammy jumping through hoops to be back on in prominence? Or is this other parties jumping through hoops with David Lammy and others to take over from next? Right, Three of Wands. Right. I think that David Lammy's next moves are already set in stone. I really do think that he's already been laying plans, or somebody's already laid plans for David Lammy. It's almost as though Lammy, when he got the Deputy Prime Minister's position, it's almost as if that was a setup. I think Lammy's being set up, and he's not clever enough to see it. He's being played like a fiddle. I'm wondering if he's being played in order to push him towards the more far left of the party. That plan to put Lammy into the Deputy Prime Minister's position and Justice Secretary was a plan to set him up. So what's going to be the outcome for Lammy then? What's the outcome? We've got the Ace of Wands. So the outcome for David Lammy is a new creative type project. Wands is about inspiration. It's about intuition. It's about that fire in your belly. It's about willpower. I think he's going to come out fighting. He's going to come out fighting, but he's got some juvenile cards here. He's got two knights. These are teenagers. No, they're not. The young men or women. And then he's got the aces, which is the beginning. He's got threes. I think I do. I actually think David Lammy is going to come out. I think he's going to come out fighting, but he's going to do it in a juvenile way. I think he's on his last ones. I think they're just letting David Lammy show himself up, and all the while he doesn't realise that's what he's actually doing. But I think he's being put in that position. I think David Lammy's being put in that position of deputy leader as a setup. And I'm seeing Angela Rayner coming back. I've got Angela Rayner back in the hot seat. So that's what I've got. I can see Angela Rayner back on that front bench and David Lammy shouting from the rooftop about how he's been hard done to and what a good Deputy Prime Minister he was and all that. Because whenever he's got a hole in his arse, he won't be able to see that he's not capable of doing the job in any sort of meaningful way. So anyway, that's that one. So let's have a wisdom of the oracle card just to see if we can just round it off and see if anything else comes up. But I think David Lammy's going to fade into the background for a little bit because he's shown himself up on the party. And I think he's going to trundle along a little nicely for a while, and then something else is going to come up and he's going to be forced into the background. He is going to join forces with more far left type politicians, and that was planned, not by David Lammy. It was planned to get him out because he's an embarrassment, and they know they've put him there because he's an embarrassment in order to get him out and to get Raina back in. And if Raina hadn't have done what she did with the inheritance or whatever it was, trust for a disabled son, she'd still be on that front bench now. I never thought I'd say this, but Angela Rayner out of all of them seems to have got more grit than all of them, and I'm not really keen on Angela Rayner either. But why? We've got why. Number 31. 31. 31. Oh, come on. I don't know why I can't read this either. Why can't I read the writing? Oh, shit. Why? Yeah, why are they set Lammy up? Why did they do that to themselves? Knowing the motives behind your career and creative ventures is the ticket to your greatest success. It's time to ask yourself some probing questions. Are you driven by a desire to serve? Does your prosperity impact the greater good? When you envision your most prosperous life, you are guided by a sense of purpose or by a need to make money, acquire things, save for the future, or all of these. No motive is bad or good, but having agendas hidden from yourself, agendas hidden from yourself, will lead to disappointment and possibly failure. Be clear about why you want the things you do. If your motives are true, accept them. If they are not, change them so you can step into your extraordinary life. Right. I think David Lammy's being set up. That's what I've said. But this line here, no motive is bad or good, but having agendas hidden from yourself will lead to disappointment and possibly failure. So I think David Lammy's been set up in that job. He's been set up to fail in that job. I think he is going to fade into the background because he has shown himself up because he's not clever enough to have he weren't clever. He wasn't up to the job to begin with. He's been set up to fail. He can't see it. He thinks he's, the fizz biz whiz. He thinks he's, Billy Big Bollocks. And nobody telling him any different is going to change his mind on that. Because he's not clever enough to see it, unfortunately. He's been played like a Stradivarius. Right, I'm going and I don't know if I'm going to be in the live chat tonight. I hope to make it. I did manage to stay up last night. But if I'm not there, don't be disappointed. Enjoy the reading and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Ta-ra!